Okay, so I did a laser-assisted capsular shrinkage in the shoulder. The kind of athletes you'll see this in are baseball players, some volleyball players, people who normally are suffering from multiple directional instability or a severe laxity. For the rehab process, you're going to be immobilized for 6 weeks in a brace. While you're in the brace, you're going to work on grip strength for your hand and elbow, range of motion. So work with some silly putty, do some squeezes, work with a ball, do squeezes, do elbow and wrist range of motions. So do flexion, extension, pronation and supination as tolerated, but do not take the sling off. And to keep cardiovascular health up, you can walk on a treadmill with your sling on, but again, you cannot take a sling off for 6 weeks. Ice and NSAIDs for pain. So as you increase and progress in your rehab process, you're going to work on proper posture. Something you can use for that is once they're taken out of a brace, and if they have really rounded shoulders, you could use a figure 8 brace. Work on shoulder flexion and abduction only to 90 degrees, and internal rotation in neutral to 10 degrees. Work on scapular retraction and protraction, elbow and wrist range of motion, and then work on neck flexion and extension, and core stabilization on a table. You can use a stationary bike and walk on a treadmill to maintain cardiovascular fitness. Use ice and NSAIDs for pain. As you continue to progress into phase 3, shoulder flexion and abduction only to 140 degrees. With internal rotation you cannot do still, and external rotation to 30 degrees in neutral. You can start TheraBand exercises for strengthening in flexion and extension, abduction and adduction, and to the point of pain or to 140 degrees. Work on contract and relax, stretching for the pectoralis muscle, and you can begin to work on D1 and D2 patterns as long as there's no pain. And then since they're out of a sling, you can use electrical stimulation for pain modification. And then as you continue to progress, you can use dumbbells to do a shoulder press, work on rhythmic stabilization, planks, wood choppers with a medicine ball, burpees into a push-up, the body blade for D1 and D2, walk on a Stairmaster in a quadruped position, throw in progression as needed if they're a baseball player, or if they're a volleyball player, work on a swing progression. In phase 5, you can work on high velocity throwing or high velocity swinging. Use a BAPS board for circles in counterclockwise and clockwise positions, and do clot push-ups and the sleeper stretch to continue to stretch out the capsule more, and do a body blade. With this surgery though, you're going to have a lot of limited motion, and you really want to limit the internal rotation that they have because it's normally a posterior capsule shrinkage.